Hello students, today we are going to study positioning in CSS. Positioning in CSS. Positioning in CSS helps us to position different elements. If we want some elements to be placed at a particular place on our page, at that time we use the position property to set that. If the element has to be positioned, you can use top, bottom, left and right properties to decide the place you want to place it. Okay, so the syntax for this over here is a selector. It can be any selector. We have studied about selectors. Position, value, top value, left value, bottom value and right value. Specify the values and it is going to position according to that particular values. Position property has 4 different values: static, fixed, absolute and relative. Over here, the first position, static, it is the default position. We never give position static anytime. It does not make any sense. Values for top, left, right and bottom are given in pixels. So the types of position we have already seen this: static positioning, fixed positioning, absolute positioning and relative positioning. We are going to see each one of them individually. The first one, static positioning. It is the default position. It is not affected by top, left, right or bottom. These values are not going to make any change whenever you are going to specify. We do not specify static position. It is the default position. It works according to the page. Wherever the page is going to place it, it is the default position. It is generally not given. Okay, so this is about your static position. Next one, fixed positioning. Now fixed position is used to place an element fixed on the browser. If we want that one of our elements should have some particular place and it should not move even when we are scrolling the pages, at that time fixed position is used. Over here, top, left, bottom and right positions can be adjusted to define the position. The entire browser is basically divided into pixels. So according to that, you have to specify the top, right, bottom and left position. You can consider the browser as a grid of your graph where the top left corner is indicated as 0, 0. Okay, so we'll just go through one program related to fixed positioning. H1, background color is purple, color is yellow. The color means color of the text. Position is fixed, top 100 pixels, left 500. Let's make it to 200 pixels. Then there is the background color and border style. This is a H1, these are these. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs over here. We are just quickly going to open this in the browser. Fixed positioning. Here you can see this is the fixed position. Top 100 pixels, left 200 pixels. So it is 0, 0 is here, then it is calculating 100 and it is shifting it over here. This is the fixed position of element H1. I do not want it to change the position even when the scroll bar. I am changing the size of the browser. We have scroll bar C. Everything else is scrolling, but this over here, this element H1 which is defined as position fixed is not moving. It is fixed. Also, if you have observed, it is irrespective of the different elements which are placed. It takes its position which is specified over here. It does not see what all other elements are, where are they placed. It is just going to come out of the page flow and place it itself depending on the positions defined. Now just let's make it 500 and see the effect. Yeah, this is top 100 pixels, left 500 pixels. So this is how you can use fixed position. Next one, over here we have relative position. Relative position is used to specify the position related to the normal position of the element. If I want to change position of H1, then it is going to change position of H1 related to the actual position. Whatever was the normal position, the actual position previously, it is going to change according to that. The other content, like other tags, other elements, will not be affected by it. Only the element for which you are writing position relative is going to be affected. So let's quickly just go through one program for this also. H1 is given as purple background color, light green color, position relative, left 100, top 200. Top is 150. Before using the position, let's just use it without the position to understand what relative position is. We are using it without any kind of position. Fixed position. Opening this in a browser. Over here, no position has been specified. This is H1. This is paragraph. A simple normal HTML page. Now just adding position. Position relative, left 100, top 150. Save this and here refresh it. Here. Now you will observe the H1 element. It has moved 100 pixels from left, 100 pixels from left and 150 pixels from top, respective to the normal position. Earlier, we were able to see H1 over here. From this normal position, it is shifted to a new position. So this new position is defined by the normal position which was used earlier. This is what is relative position. It is going to change the position in relation to the normal positioning. Okay. So coming back over here, the third position is absolute position. This property sets an element to a specific location like the fixed. Like you have done in the fixed, you define the properties, it is going to be fixed to that place. Again, it is not affected by the flow of the page. You can specify the coordinates using your left, right, top and bottom. This property positions the element at the fixed coordinates relative to the top left corner of the browser. According to that, one important thing over here is in fixed position. Even when you use scroll bars, it is not moving, but in absolute position, it is going to move. So here we have one example for absolute position. Absolute position, background color, purple, color is yellow, position is given is absolute, no, top and left has been specified over here. Then a paragraph, opening this in the browser. Here, this is the absolute position. We can see H1, even though it is written before the paragraph, it is coming over here because of the absolute position. Now here, even if I have scroll bars, I am purposely resizing it to a very smaller page. Here, you can see the absolute position can move. The fixed position cannot move. Now let's just use over here left 200 pixels. So it is going to move 200 pixels relative to this top left corner. 0, 0 is here. So 200 pixels from this corner here. 200 pixels towards the left. So position absolute is going to set it to a position that you are going to specify. Whatever position, whatever left, right, top, bottom you have specified, it is going to set it. Over here, it is going to set it according to the top left corner. This is about your absolute position. The property positions the element at specified coordinates relative to the screen's left corner. The coordinates we are going to specify using left, right, top and bottom. So we have just now seen three different positions: fixed position, relative position and absolute position. There is one more, static, but which we never use. It is the default position. Next is simple float property. CSS provides us with a float property. You can use it as inline CSS, internal CSS, or an external CSS. Anyhow that property can be used. The property defines the flow of content, how it is going to use the different elements over here. Now float property, it has three different types. Float left. So whenever you are going to specify float left, that element is going to be floating towards the left hand side of the container. Float right, it is going to move towards the right hand side of the container. A container in our case is your body tag. So related to the body tag, it is going to shift to left side or right side. Float none, this is the default property. It shows the element where it is supposed to be. Generally, the floats are used for images. If we want to shift the image towards left hand side, if you want the image on the right hand side, however, there is no float center. So you cannot keep the image in the center. We have just float right and float bottom. Float right. So we can specify these two floats to keep the images towards the left or right, and the paragraph, the text which is there, will be surrounded. Here we have an example. Let's just see the example over here. Float CSS. Here, float dot left. Dot left means dot indicating my class. Left is name of the class. Then the style property. Float left, margin right is 10 pixels. So it will get 10 pixels right margin. Then next one, dot indicates a class, right is name of the class, float right. So here it is going to float towards the right hand side. Then we have H1, background color is blue and the color is white. Head, body, H1, float property. So it will be displayed in white color with a blue background. Then IMG class left. So here it is class left and the image is tulips. So my tulips image is going to be displayed towards the left hand side. Left hand side with height of 200, width of 200. We've already covered IMG tag in 11th standard. Then IMG class right chrysanthemms.jpg. So we have the image of chrysanthemums which is going to be placed to right hand side, and this entire paragraph is going to be placed in the page. Now this paragraph is going to be placed in between two images. Here, the tulips on the left hand side, left float here. Left, float, left. So it is on the left hand side. Then chrysanthem's image is right. So it is floating on the right hand side. If you have observed, this is margin. Margin on the right hand side is 10 pixels. What will happen over here? Over here we have to use left margin. Here, left hand side, if you all are going to provide the margin, it is going to be margin left 10 pixels. Left side. Here, this is the 10 pixel margin which is provided. So whenever we are using floating, it is going to place it to the left hand side or towards the right hand side, and the text, it is going to be surrounded accordingly. It is going to decide where the text is going to be. See, I am resizing it. The text is moving down, but my images, they are fixed towards the left and right side of the page. So this is about your floating property. Let's just try this and see what happens. None. What is expected? So here, one after the other two images and then the paragraph. Okay. So that is the reason that we have to change your floating. And we have to float the images to get the desired output. This is the float property. So float property is float left, float right, or float none. The next one is your display property. Display property defines how the components are going to be placed on the web page. It specifies how the elements are displayed. This property defines display of different parts. Like, do you want the image, do you want the text to be displayed inline, or do you want it to be displayed in block or inline block? These are the different values for that. Inline, block, block inline, or none. So the syntax is simple, display and the value. Any of the four values can be used. Just quickly let's see one program related to display also. Display P, display inline. Now here we have a paragraph over here. Background color. This over here is given style equal to background color is yellow. This is inline CSS. For all three different paragraphs, different background colors have been used, and display is given as inline. Inline means all of them are going to be in one line, one after the other. That is what inline means. Here, display properties, this is my heading. This is my first paragraph. The background color is yellow. Background color is red, second paragraph. The third one is green. This happens because it is given as inline, in one single line, one after the other. Next one we have is block. Now this will be displayed in blocks. One block, one after the other. Here, one block, second block and third block. Let's just change the line. Hide it here. I'm just changing the line height so that it is going to be displayed better. So this is our three different blocks. First paragraph with yellow background, second paragraph with red, and third one with green. The third property that we have is inline block. This is our inline block. You can see a small separation over here, which was not present when you are using inline. So this is the difference. It is inline also, it is block also. So depending on how you want your tags to be displayed, how you want the different elements inline block, you can decide. It can be given to any particular element, P, image, any particular element you all can define this. Then the last one that we have is the paragraphs are not displayed now. So it is not displayed. Better we can use over here is block. Okay, so this is your display blocks. Display property has four values on how you want it, you can use it. So this is the end of today. So what we have studied today is different positioning. There are four different types: static, fixed, absolute and relative. For defining your position, you have to use position property along with top, left, bottom and right. Static is the default position. We do not change it. The next one, fixed position. If I want to fix some element on the browser, even when the scroll bars are moved, that time you can use your fixed position. Next one, relative. It is going to move according to the normal position of the element. Then the next one is absolute position. Absolute position works similar to the fixed position. You can place it on the browser, on the page, specify the coordinates. It moves with the scroll bar. Then the float property, it has three different values: float left, float right and float none. You have to decide if you want the elements on the left side, right side and use it accordingly. The last one is display. Display has four values: inline, block, block inline and none. So you can decide on your own where and how you want to display your particular elements. Where is defined by the position, how is defined by the float and display. This is it for today, people. Thank you.